What's up, everybody? It's Jennifer here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little story time, I guess. This video is how I started modeling and acting, blah blah blah. I literally never thought I would model or act or anything. Rewind to when I'm like in middle school and high school, I literally thought I was the ugliest person ever. This was the time of like The Simple Life, and like Paris Hilton was just like a stick, and I had big hips, so I was like, I literally like, I just felt like a huge dinosaur compared to everybody. And also I have huge eyes, and I literally would get called bug eyes, alien, blah blah blah. Like I literally would just like walk around and like kind of squint because like words hurt. And I literally wanted to get a surgery. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry just thinking of it. Ah! Oh my god, why am I crying? I'm getting emotional. I literally thought that there could be a surgery for like taking out eye juice. Like I was like, let's get a syringe, put it on my eye, and just like pull out eye juice to make my eye smaller. Like that's how like disturbed I was that my eyes were so big, and I was getting called a bug, an alien and stuff. Oh my god. Can I stop crying? What the heck? And also I literally was like kind of tall, so I was like 5'8.5", and I was like kind of taller and hip, so I just felt like a huge like person. And so I was like, I want to get like kneecap surgery and cut off my knees and connect my legs so that I'll be shorter, because small and short equals cute back then. I had really disturbed like body dysmorphia back then, still do kind of, but anyway, so never thought I could model, always thought I was an ugly little alien, like blah 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 blah. So after high school, blah blah blah, hated how I looked, hated myself pretty much. I went to this state university in Minnesota for 6 months, hated it, studied abroad in Australia and New Zealand. That was amazing. I came back, I went to art school, the Art Institute in Minneapolis, and I kind of was just like, meh, kind of like, I don't know, people like, that was like the MySpace days, so like me and my friends, we just like took like MySpace pictures and got kind of like artsy. The first time anyone had an interest of like photographing me was like this art or this photography student at my school who needed like a model for their pictures, and I was like, cool, let's do it. And I did it, and I saw the pictures. I was like, oh my god, like, whoa, like I look kind of goodish. So I didn't really like make anything of it. I was just like, cool. And then random, but I worked at this coffee shop, and this like regular customer that would come in, he like made greeting cards, I don't know, but he was like, I'd like to pay you to like model for me. And I was like, sure. Kind of creepy, but I was in like a fairyland back then. I was like, cool, let's do it. So I ended up like shooting with this guy a lot of times and got some like really good pictures, and I was like, okay, this is fun, but like there's not really like much to do for modeling in Minnesota unless you're like really basic looking. So I didn't really like do much of anything. I had a photographer friend that moved to Minneapolis at the time, and he would always just take like really cool party pictures like when we were out, and just like, so I got a lot of amazing pictures then with him. So by then I had a bunch of like really cool pictures of me, and I ended up applying to this thing called Ladies of Metal, which was like pretty much just like a spokesmodel for it. Like you just like it's pretty much just like a Facebook page, and they would just like post all the models they had. So I was in that for like, I think like less than a year, maybe a year. I ended up moving to California during that time. So I moved to Long Beach, and then I ended up getting kicked out of Ladies of Metal. LOL, I have the email still that they sent me. This was, what year was it? 2012, June. They said, we regret to inform you that after long consideration that we have to let you go as a Ladies of Metal spokesmodel. Your development as a model has come at a very slow pace compared to other models. We are looking for our girls to represent our company that either already have experience or have the capability of growing to become one. Blah 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 blah. I was like, okay. I was kind of hurt by that. Like, When I lived in Long Beach, my roommate at the time found on Craigslist a Train music video, and she like got us like to go because they needed a bunch of like free extras in there. And so that was my first music video ever, like being on set, anything. It was like so random. But yeah, here's a little screenshot video of me in the Train music video. So random, but yeah, that was my first video ever. I was so excited that I was in that video, like, whoa. So after that, I only lived in Long Beach for 2 months. I hated it because I didn't have a car, so I was just like kind of stuck there. I ended up getting a job in Boston with this clothing line, Let's Rage Clothing, to go on tour with them. And so I went there. I ended up stopping after like 2 days because I hated those people. Blah blah blah. So I kind of stopped like the whole modeling thing, kind of just like blah, put it away, because like after getting kicked out of Ladies of Metal, I was like, eventually I moved back to LA, and I was still just trying to find a job. I got a job at this coffee shop in Sherman Oaks, and I remember seeing this Buck Cherry music video shoot. I submitted. I was not paid, but I thought it was still really cool to be there. It was filmed at this church, and like, I don't know, I just really liked being on set and around that environment and vibe. So got into that video, and then I found this other Craigslist ad a little bit after that for a paid video. This would be my first paid music video. It was they were looking for hipsters. It was for this group called Father Tiger, and they wanted some hipster elves, and I got the role. I remember like, oh my gosh, like taking off work at the coffee shop to go and be in this music video. It was a really small set, so I felt like really like, boom, I got in there, and they were like, can we get your Chipotle order for later? I was like, oh my god, like you want my order? Like, okay, cool. I ended up meeting this person, one of the other hipster elves. They were talking about like being on Criminal Minds like later that week. And I was like, how are you getting on Criminal Minds? Because Criminal Minds is like one of my favorite shows. And she told me about this site called Central Casting. Like you go there and take your picture, and like they get you into like TV shows and movies and whatever. So I immediately signed up, went there, got my picture taken. It was too late to be in the Criminal Minds episode. But I literally got booked to be on this Nickelodeon show right away, like a SAG role, which is like really unheard of to get booked as SAG as your first thing. I had like bright green hair, all this, like a green ombre thing. And so I was on Wendell and Venny. It's this Nickelodeon show. It's not aired anymore, but it was the brother and iCarly, his like spin-off show. So I ended up being in like 2 episodes of that, because they had like this store that they wanted like weird people walking around. So I got to be on that. I felt so cool. I literally remember being on set, and they brought us down to the set, and they were like, is this anyone's like first time? You've all done this before? And I did not want to be like, oh yeah, this is my first time on set. I was just like, yeah. And yeah, it was really cool, kind of nerve-wracking. But yeah, so I ended up being on that, and then I ended up getting booked for a lot of like random TV shows. Like I was on Two Broke Girls. I'll put all these like little clips here. So I did like Two Broke Girls. I was on the Mindy Project, Parenthood, all these like random shows. I was still like just working at the coffee shop, and yeah, kind of doing some side acting work, because I was kind of still trying to find a job in advertising, because that's what my degree is in, but like it was impossible to get a job in LA that I liked. So where do I go from there? So yeah, I did all those like random TV show gigs, kind of cool, but I was still like an extra, but like sometimes a featured extra, so that was really cool. I ended up going to beauty school, so I took a huge kind of break because I was at school like full time, and it was really tiring, so I didn't really shoot as much then. Right after beauty school, I worked at the salon for 6 months. That's all I lasted. Literally wanted to die. Oh my god, it was... I could do a whole story time on salon life in Beverly Hills. Like, so yeah, I quit the salon, had a mental breakdown, quit that, and then I just like heard about this site, LA Casting. I don't know why no one told me about it before. People are like haters. So yeah, I joined LA Casting, which is an amazing site that they post like commercials, music videos, just like a bunch of roles. So I signed up for that, and like immediately I got booked for a Justin Bieber music video. And I was like, oh my god, like I literally got booked for a Justin Bieber video and a Chris Brown video like immediately. They weren't paid that well. The Justin Bieber video literally was paid $50, and you got to bring a friend if you wanted, because he wanted like some free extras also. So I brought my roommate and we went, and we ended up leaving before we got paid because it was just like a huge mess. So like I pretty much worked on that video for free, but it was still really cool. You can't even see me in the video because there's a long story with that. But yeah, so that was cool. I was feeling like such a badass, like in these like big sets and just like being around like these people. Then I had my first audition to be in this 5 Seconds of Summer music video as a spray paint girl, and I got it. It was literally my first audition and I booked the role, but then they ended up cutting our part. I was really angry, so they just kind of like put us as like extras, but I still got paid like the featured role rate, which was okay. But also this was the time when I kind of took Instagram super seriously. Like I was posting every day. I was trying to like just post a bunch of like brands that I like was using to like end up working with brands. I ended up booking my first photo shoot with this one clothing line, Rock and Bones Clothing. It wasn't paid, but I got to keep all the clothes I wore, which I thought was really cool. Like at the end of the shoot, I was like, do I really get to keep these clothes? And they're like, yeah, take it. That was really cool. And those pictures ended up being on Inked Magazine's website, like their shop. So I thought I was the coolest person in the world for being on Inked Magazine's website. I was slowly doing more like random shoots, shooting with like photographers I met on Instagram, getting more like established shots because I was kind of like getting my vibe and look down more. And what else? And then, so I slowly just became like, just started like being in a ton of music videos. My first like big commercial that I booked was a Wiener Schnitzel commercial. I still have never eaten at Wiener Schnitzel, but I just think it's so cool that I was in their commercials. So after that Wiener Schnitzel commercial, I wanted to try and find an agent or manager because I felt like that was like what you're supposed to do. But I just like did not trust a single person because you have to give them a percentage of your money. And every agent or person I would talk to, they would just bring up roles on LA Casting. So I don't know, I just never really tried that hard to get like an agent to help me. Because yeah, I don't know. I ended up booking so much stuff on my own. I just like didn't think I needed anybody. And I still have never had an agent, and I've literally worked with like most of like the biggest music artists groups in the world. So yeah, I eventually just like started getting like once you worked with like a certain director or casting director, they'll remember you if you're memorable. And I would just start getting calls for like, oh, you worked on this shoot for me, can you work this shoot? And so just like I started getting like more known, blah blah blah. I became SAG eligible, which is where you can pay like, it was like $2,000 at the time. Now it's $3,000 to join. And I just like never really took acting and stuff super seriously. I was just like doing it because I was making money. Fast forward, I actually wanted to join this year, and then the pandemic happened and that didn't really work out. So yeah. What else? I forgot to mention, so for like clothing line modeling, I never really booked much of that just because I'm not like size 0 model and I'm not a plus size model. I'm like in between, so like I would never get to submit to those because they were so specific on sizes. But because of social media, I kind of like build a platform, and so brands would notice me on there. So I think my first like photo shoot with a company was like I Heart Raves. I just remember them being like, we'd like to book you for a shoot, what's your rate? And I gave them a really low rate because I just like didn't want to like not get the shoot. So always give what you think you deserve. Companies always have money. Don't undersell yourself, because I probably could have gotten way more money for a lot of shoots that I just like thought I didn't deserve my full rate or whatever. Also, some other modeling I did was hair modeling, which I absolutely hate. I don't think I will ever do that again unless I get paid like a lot of money. Like yesterday I was like trying to make a list of like all the stuff I've worked on ever, and I'm just like so shocked. Like this is literally just music videos. Like, and I have done way more than this. And then I like wrote, I have like my commercials and movies, blah blah blah, TV shows and stuff. Yeah, one day I'll like really compile the entire list just so like I'll remember forever like what I've done, because I have a really bad memory. I think I started like full-time just doing modeling, acting stuff like right when I quit the salon. So I think that was 2016. No, I don't know what year that was. I can't remember. Anyways, I've just been doing this for a long time. So moral of the story, don't get eye juice surgery thinking you need to make your eyeballs smaller. Don't cut your kneecaps to make you shorter, because in 5 years you'll be a whole different person. And like, yeah, now I literally get booked because of these eyes. Like these eyes are like a money maker. So I just like should not have listened to all those creatures back in the day that like to call me names. Oh yeah, and those creatures will be in your DMs congratulating you, saying how great your pictures are, like how blah 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 blah. Anyways, that's my spiel. That is how I started acting and modeling from a little creepy, or a little, I don't even know what I would call myself here, to this, like, I don't even know. Meow. But yeah, if you ever wanted to get into modeling, to start out modeling, I would just literally start taking pictures of yourself. Literally, you can just use your iPhone, a self-timer, boom, you've got it. Eventually, maybe working with some photographers that you know. Oh yeah, and if you're in LA, Central Casting is a good place to start. You just go there, get your picture taken, and they call you for roles. You usually have to like call and submit yourself, but since I had like such a unique look, they would always just call me, which was nice. And then LA Casting, that's like the place every actor model should have signed up for. It's like $15 a month. And yeah, you can just book all your roles on there. And yeah, that's everything. If you have like specific acting and modeling questions, or like stories on set, or like what, like some horror stories that have happened on set, or like good and bad things that have happened to me in the entertainment industry, I'd love to answer them. So please ask away, and I could do another video talking about it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time on my channel. Bye!